Mr. President, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our nation was founded upon this set of inalienable rights that are provided to each one of us, not by government, but by our divine Creator who made us all equal. It is the role of the government to secure these blessings. Regardless of our differences and disagreements, these principles outlined in our founding documents have always united us and made America exceptional. They are the framework of the American dream, the promise that through self-determination, hard work, and opportunity, we can all achieve a better life for ourselves and for our families. Yet, whether you are pursuing a career, attending school, maybe starting a business, or shopping for a dream home, DC politicians and government bureaucrats are increasingly dictating when you may exercise your rights and how you can live your life, and then spying on you to make sure that you are following the rules. This Washington knows best approach is negatively impacting nearly every aspect of your life, and you may not realize it. To demonstrate the point, let's walk through a few common scenarios and the real life consequences you could face as a result of the Biden administration's policies. For each, ask yourself, in this situation, is the government acting to secure or subvert your rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? You work hard and probably put some of your earnings away in a savings account to pay your monthly bills or to be prepared for an unexpected emergency. And folks, that's just the smart thing to do. Well, if you deposit or withdraw more than $10,000 over the course of a year, the Biden administration wants the IRS to be able to spy on you. To put this number into perspective, if you are renting an apartment in Iowa, the average annual cost to do so is just over $10,000 per year. That's the threshold, folks. Why does Washington even need to know this information about you? The Treasury Department says this is necessary to make sure, quote, the top 1% can't evade, end quote, paying taxes. You heard that right. The Biden administration thinks you are rich if over the course of an entire year you either save or spend $10,000. And they might even have the IRS audit you for tax evasion. Treating American citizens like criminal suspects for the innocent act of using a bank account is quite frankly un-American. The Biden administration has been upfront about its motive here. Washington Democrats are looking to collect as many tax dollars as possible to finance their never-ending reckless spending sprees. And as a direct result of these budget-busting bills, government inflation is driving up prices and limiting availability of everyday essentials. Let's take a look at life in Joe Biden's America. The cost of food, the cost of rent, the cost of nearly everything just keeps going up and up. Meanwhile, the size of many products is shrinking, which means you have to work harder, pay more, and get a heck of a lot less. It's even costing more just to get to the grocery store. Gas is now more than $3 a gallon, the highest price in 6 years. And this really shouldn't come as a surprise. Remember, on his first day on the job, President Biden signed an executive order to end the Keystone XL pipeline, killing thousands of jobs and limiting our access to oil and gas supplies. And while costs keep going up, just finding what you need or want has become yet another ordeal. As a result of Biden bucks, which paid people not to work for most of the year, many products are in short supply or unavailable altogether. Shipping companies are even facing equipment shortages, and of course, they remain understaffed. And folks, this crisis isn't ending anytime soon. The upcoming holiday season is already being referred to as Biden's Blue Christmas. The White House is even warning there will be items people can't get for Christmas. So let's just hope, for the sake of the kids who have been good all year, that Biden's broken supply chain problems don't extend all the way to the North Pole. And speaking of kids, let's take a look at what might happen to parents who take a vocal role in their children's education. It's a good thing for parents to be active in their children's education, and it comes as no surprise that they can often get very passionate about the subject. So imagine going to a school board meeting and exercising your right to express your concerns about a new policy or proposed curriculum at your child's school. But instead of having those issues addressed, you find yourself labeled as a domestic terrorist. Yeah, folks, you heard that right. A domestic terrorist under investigation by our nation's chief law enforcement agency. It sounds insane, right? But it's a crazy reality today. President Biden's Attorney General is mobilizing the FBI against parents who make their voices heard at school board meetings. Let me be very clear about this. Violence or even threats of violence against school board members, teachers, or any public officials should never, ever be tolerated. But neither should threats of intimidation by the government to coerce parents to surrender control over their children's education. This is happening at the same time the FBI announced the largest spike in homicides ever recorded. I'm not talking about this year, folks. I'm not talking about last year, 4, 5, 6 years past. We are talking about the largest spike in homicides ever recorded. And with murder and violent crimes increasing, the president's liberal allies in Congress are threatening to defund the police. That approach certainly is not going to secure life liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. Folks, all of these disturbing trends we just talked about are stark reminders that the principles our nation was founded upon are not guaranteed. Every generation of Americans owes it to the next generation to preserve and strengthen the blessings of liberty we were fortunate enough to inherit. I'd expect government coercion, state snooping, empty shelves, and out-of-control inflation in nations with socialist regimes like China, Cuba, and Venezuela. But regardless of who our president may be, we must never, ever accept any of these as part of life in America.